Truth to power. We say it as it is, even if it's
live,
to some people.
special,
and we're standing
untrustworthy
up for the
form.
So I'm certainly standing up for the people of Lincolnshire.
Local elections.
How will it change over this Parliament with you as its MP? Mayor.
Well, I'm going to work very closely with Rick. Yes, I'm going to work very closely with our fantastic MP, Richard.
UK 20 me from 25.
And, you know, we have a plan
Sounds like the right side screen.
With reform.
Times down there.
Is
look at May. Friday morning, guys, 20
to bring up your children, to retire, to live.
Now, have we seen this before when Labour were in the general election last year saying the kind of same stuff?
That they can move around the county.
Exactly.
We haven't got this brain.
They all lie now. This is the stage where they lie. So she's saying things which won't happen.
With the skills.
She's lying. She's just coming out of face. Oh, this is the words. All over the lies.
I'm sure you will be aware.
She takes over. They'll do the opposite in 5 years' time. You can't trust any of these politicians. You can't trust
voted for you as a protest vote
this person here at all.
And what the Labour Party has done so far.
They all lie. They're not
what
trustworthy.
Will you be doing to keep
politics are the worse than the royal family was, and they were in charge.
Labour voters, those
Back in the
disgruntled
you name
Labour voters.
16th, 15th, 16th, 17th century. No joke.
Well, what I think unites both Labour and Conservative who's come to reform is
no one trusts you.
The belief in our country wanting the best for our
no one trusts any of you
politicians. It's
politicians.
about inherent fairness. It's about our community.
You're lying now.
And putting British people at the heart of our policies.
You're not going to do that when you take over in 4 years' time. In the general election.
Micro level,
with
on local level,
as your leader.
Council that we may run
all the same.
In our moralities.
I've lost faith in politics.
We will deliver for local people.
Give me an example of something that you will change. I mean, you said you'll deliver, you'll make it better. Give me an example of something tangible that you will change.
Yes. Yes. No, I mean, I've got a 6-point manifesto.
You're going to do so much.
I moved to Lincolnshire when I was 7 years old. I went to school, college, university here. I was a Lincolnshire County Councillor myself. And I've seen how people cannot get around the county. Our roads are not fixed. I've seen how a bus service in a rural area is a last resort rather than a lifeline.
All
so
goes
things
towards
like this.
Ukraine
now,
war
just as they have
lately.
a transport for London, I will have a transport for Lincolnshire, where we get the strategic decision.
You can't stop that being spent on Ukraine. You have that power.
As well, where we'll have a strategic plan to get Lincolnshire moving. I will also have a skills board, which will be industry-led. We've got some amazing industries across the whole of Lincolnshire, from manufacturing to farming. I mean, we feed Britain in Lincolnshire, and food security is very important. And so it's ensuring that the next generation and the businesses have the skills so we can create the jobs, we can create opportunities for young people.
No, you won't.
So we thrive as a county. That's just 2 examples.
I will be one of the people early in your career.
It's as bad as Donald Trump,
give you your full
I
titles.
reckon.
I'm Andrea Jenkins, great Lincolnshire Mayor. Thank you very much for your time with us here on BBC.
I've got my opinions. Put a comment below what you think.
Hi.
These local elections
Thank you very much.
are the indication that Labour and Conservative Party ain't doing too well at the moment.
The Green Party joins.
The Green parties, the little parties are doing well, but this is local, this is not national. Don't forget. These are local issues.
Take of what you've seen.
Well, it's still early days, actually, in terms of all of the great results we're expecting for the Green Party in council elections across the country during Friday. But we've had some positive results early on. We've won a seat from Labour in Lambeth, the second London by-election where we've seen a big swing from Labour to the Green Party in the last few weeks. We've had other wins in other parts of the country, like Norfolk and Northumberland, for example. But what we're
fancy change. We all fancy change. But
it's really a five-party
I get the impression that it doesn't matter who you vote for, they do a U-turn on what you want them to do. So what Labour's done recently, for example, and they argue that it was the Conservative Party. Some of it is the Conservative Party fault, but they should have stuck to what they promised to do.
Growing inequality.
You can't trust any of these politicians. My advice is
benefits removed, the winter fuel allowance removed.
Don't vote, perhaps.
NHS that's broken. we haven't got a livable environment. We're seeing our environment degrade.
Take things into your own
All of
hands.
These things need action.
Police don't
People
help you
looking
out,
for an
do they?
alternative. And the big
They're not very
question for the
helpful,
future
they're
of British
useless.
politics is going to be: do people go
We're on
down
our
the
own.
reform route, as people
I
are
think,
starting
anyway.
to do today? But I think that they'll soon come unstuck when people see that their policies are really only going to benefit the very richest in society. Or do people choose a more hopeful future, as people increasingly have done over the last 7 years in a row, and I'm confident it will be an eighth, of record Green councillors elected across the country, because Greens have a positive track record of working hard for our communities, pressing for a livable environment, but also working for more affordable housing and for protecting public services. And we have a vision that we
Okay,
can
I'm going to
have
interrupt you if
a
I
more
may,
equal
Adrian.
society.
The fun's at the right
I
side of
do
the
want to
screen.
talk about something specific.
Yes.
I want you to talk to me about the West of England mayoral election. This is a place you had targeted very strongly
No, second of May,
for a
Thursday
strong
morning.
result.
Probably
And
95.
people will be listening in and finding out these results this morning. It was a win for Labour. You have come third behind Reform, in a place where you would have expected and hoped and concentrated your attentions on. What does that tell you?
Well, of course we would have liked to have won that election. What we did see was a strong Green vote, well, across the area, over 40,000 Green votes, but particularly a strong vote in Bristol, building on the great success we had in Bristol at the general election. I'm confident that that is a contest we can win in the future, next time around. But we made very clear our aims for this election, which was to have an 8th year in a row where across the country we see a record number of Green
Okay, now I'm going to
councillors
ask you,
elected,
Adrian
and I'm
Ramsey, if I
confident
may.
that will be the case.
I want to push you on this one because
Yes.
you know we're trying to get initial reaction to what has just happened. So in that West of England mayoral election, you've been beaten by Reform. Can you address that very directly? You can talk about the outlying areas and what your plans are for the future. That has just happened.
Well, we got a similar number
there.
of votes to Reform in that election, and what you saw was a 5-party split for that election, which does make the results hard to predict. And we're seeing a 5-party split, as John Curtis has said,
Oh, yeah, we
across
go.
so much of the country. And we can look at why that's the case. And I think Labour especially need to reflect on the fact that, well, first of all, we have a voting system that doesn't reflect the fact that there are 5 parties doing very well now, but also people are turning away from the Labour Party only a few months into their government because they are not working for the most vulnerable in society,
they're not.
whether it's our broken
Done a
NHS,
U-turn.
whether it's removing the winter fuel allowance from pensioners or support from the most ill and disabled people in society, and not failing to tackle the fact that we need a livable future, we need a healthier environment for our children and grandchildren. And on all of these issues, Greens are offering a practical, positive alternative, and that's why I'm confident we'll have an 8th year in a row of a record number of Green councillors elected across England today.
Yeah, you're just exactly the same thing.
Several times this morning. But it
You're all
remains
the
fact that
same.
You say to us this morning, people are turning away from Labour.
Look at my historical
And
videos,
yet,
all these
that
politicians, what
West
they
of
say,
England
and when you get the power,
they won.
they do U-turn.
But they did, and I
I'm
congratulate
not
them on that
joking.
win, but I'm
Look at
talking
the historical
about
videos and make
national
sure.
picture
Politics,
where very
what they
clearly
say.
it's the case that
And
people
none of them
turning
are
away
trustworthy.
from Labour, and that's why commentators
Can't
are
trust
talking about
him,
the fact
can't
that we
trust
have
the
a
lady in
five-party
uniform party,
system
can't
now in
trust
England, and
Nigel
if you look at
Farage.
what's happening nationally, you know,
I think the royal family should take over in the country. William and Kate.
People looking at what's the future of British
Hail the
politics
Queen,
going to
hail
be,
the
and it really
King,
is a stark
William and
choice
Kate.
between reform
After
on
Camilla
the one
and
hand, which
Charles.
yes, voters are looking at, but
We want a
should
royal,
realise the
a
details
royal
of their
monarchy, I think.
policies.
Royal
They're
monarchy.
really only there to benefit
They're not
the very richest in
politicians.
society. They would
They're
threaten
worse
our
than the royal
NHS.
family,
They want to pull the rug
in my
away from
opinion.
policies for a livable future, and I'm confident.
Let's put
voters on the
politics
doorstep want strong
into the background, like
environment,
with the royal
whether it's
family, for
protecting the natural
change.
environment or ensuring
Let's
we have
change
a strong
things
future for our
for
children
our country for
and
the
our
best.
grandchildren. And so Green
That's what I
councillors
think.
having a strong track record.
Down with the
working
royal,
hard in communities around the country,
down with the
pressing for more
Conservative time,
affordable
down with
housing
the
to
politics.
protect local
Let's get
services
some
from
royals in.
cuts from this
Royalty
government.
time.
People expected a big change at the general election.
Royals.
So Greens
We want
are
the
offering
royal
a
family
fruitful,
back in
positive
power.
vision at a time when people are turning away from the tired old parties.
We're tired of all you politicians. We want the royal family back in charge. We've had enough of politicians.
7:32 is the time. We will keep you up to
The
date
fun's
with
at the
all
right
results
screen.
that are coming in from
See what you
the
think.
elections
He's
taking place in
squashed
parts
my
of
shot
England. Time now,
on
though,
signage
to get
agents.